Is CBS.
Eyewitness News is next. On her late husband's 60th birthday, Coretta Scott King vows Martin Luther King's dream will come true. Hundreds are dead, thousands are injured in a monumental train crash in Bangladesh.
Arrest tonight as a nuclear submarine sails into its new home in Georgia. And the journalists who brought the civil rights movement into the homes of millions met today to tell of the passion and sorrow they saw. Bill Hartman has all the sports.
And Carrie Coleman has the weather forecast. It's all next on Eyewitness News.
I have just the thing for that cold.
Most kids think that medicine has to taste bad, but there's one cold medicine that relieves both kids and colds.
Where are you hiding?
Dimetap, grape-flavored Dimetap elixir, recommended millions of times by pediatricians and pharmacists. After all, a cold medicine can't work if you can't get it down.
You like Dimetap?
Grape-flavored Dimetap elixir. It relieves kids as well as colds.
Maybe you think your kids don't have easy access to drugs. They do. Maybe you think your kids' change in behavior and dramatic mood swings are normal. They may not be. Maybe you think the problem will go away by itself. It probably won't. Call Charterbrook Hospital now for a free, confidential evaluation. Maybe you don't worry about your kids and drugs. Maybe you should.
Your Jeep Eagle dealer answers the question, what is an eagle? How fast do eagles fly? What do eagles share? Now, where do they nest? Just look up, America.
See your Southeast Jeep Eagle dealer, Jasper Jeep Eagle, Jasper, Georgia, and expect the best.
A man of God accused of seducing women. Watch Inside Edition.
Now, Channel 5 Eyewitness News at 11 with Cynthia Good and Ken Watts. Bill Hartman with sports, Carrie Coleman's weather, and the Eyewitness News team.
Good evening. America remembers Atlanta's native son on the eve of the official Martin Luther King national holiday. Today would have been the slain civil rights leader's 60th birthday. Thousands honored Dr. King and his dream in ceremonies throughout the country and here in his hometown.
As a King Center.
At Ebenezer Baptist Church, where King and his father preached, Dr. King's widow, Coretta, assessed the progress in civil rights since her husband's assassination in 1968.
We have carefully examined the state of the dream. And yes, I must report that the dream remains unfulfilled.
In her State of the Dream address, Mrs. King said the white-only signs of the 1950s and 60s are gone, but segregated schools and neighborhoods remain. She called on President-elect George Bush to be more sensitive to civil rights issues. In Salt Lake City, black gospel singers joined the Mormon Tabernacle Choir in a service honoring King. And familiar faces led other programs.
Fight for civil rights, fight against civil wrongs. We fight for public accommodations, the right to vote, open housing, the right to have power, that's a civil right. When we rob, rape, and self-destruct, that's a civil wrong.
He belongs not only to this nation, although there are so many who even today will not claim him, but he belongs to the world, and the world who knows the worth of this man will claim him.
In Beverly Hills, California, a generation of young people who never knew Dr. King picked up his tradition of activism. They staged an anti-apartheid sit-in at the South African consulate. That's the kind of spirit Dexter King says he wants to tap. The newly named president of the King Center told Ken Chambers he wants to create a non-violent army of young people to spread his father's philosophy around the world.
And hopefully we will be viewed in the future, not too distant future, as the West Point of nonviolent training.
Today, brothers and sisters, I want to assure you that we at the King Center will do everything in our power to see that his dream will be fulfilled.
And tomorrow's King holiday observance begins with the annual ecumenical service at Ebenezer Baptist Church that begins at 10 o'clock and will be carried live here on Channel 5. Then tomorrow afternoon, local and national civil rights officials will lead a King parade through downtown Atlanta.
Ken, an interview with President Reagan tonight on the CBS program 60 Minutes raises the ire of many civil rights leaders, including the Reverend Jesse Jackson. While birthday celebrations for the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. were going on in Atlanta, Jesse Jackson was leading a church service in Harlem, New York. Jackson, who marched for civil rights at King's side, lashed out at drugs and violence, which he says set back Dr. King's dream of a better life for blacks in America. He also lashed out at President Reagan's remarks about civil rights leaders made during tonight's hour-long interview.
The feeling that they're victims of prejudice.
You talking about Jesse Jackson and Ben Hooks?
Well, you name the names, I won't.
Reagan's problem is he never saw a weapon system he didn't support, and never saw a civil rights issue that he did support.
President Reagan's comments were made public on Friday, and at that time, King's widow, Coretta Scott King, said she would reserve comment until she had heard the entire interview.
Rescuers are working through the night in Bangladesh looking for survivors of a train wreck that may have killed 400 people. This morning, 2 trains loaded with people collided head-on about 40 miles south of the capital city, Dhaka. Witnesses say the trains were full with hundreds of people sitting on the roofs of the cars. Police believe there are 2,500 people injured in the wreck. An investigation is already underway to see if human error on a new signaling system might have caused that crash.
Tonight, the first of 10 Trident submarines to be stationed at the new Kings Bay Naval Submarine Base in St. Mary's, Georgia, is safely docked at the base. The nation's largest and newest Trident submarine, the USS Tennessee, pulled into Kings Bay about 3 o'clock this afternoon. The Tennessee is the first of 10 Ohio-class ballistic missile subs to arrive at the base. It is designed to carry 24 Trident missiles, each of which can deliver 10 nuclear warheads to different targets. While the Tennessee slowly made its way through the channel to the base, anti-nuclear demonstrators held a mock funeral procession on the beach outside the gates. The protesters said the sub represents our failure as human beings to settle our differences in nonviolent ways. But Georgia Senator Sam Nunn, on hand to welcome the Tennessee and its crew, said the purpose of the new submarine is to prevent wars, not to start them.
Survivability, which we have in the submarine, means that they don't have to put their finger right on the nuclear trigger. It means they have enough time to think. They have enough time to communicate.
The Kings Bay submarine base is about 80% complete. It will serve as the headquarters for the Atlantic Coast Trident Strategic Submarine Fleet.
As the Bush administration prepares itself for this inauguration, so too are those who plan to do business with Reagan's successor. And Channel 5's Russ Jameson says among those groups who are representing the homeless, they're demanding affordable housing.
I think there's a lot of excess money going around, but they're not using it to really help the homeless in the way that it should be used.
Cowboy lives on the streets. His neighbors are other homeless Atlantans. They are a growing part of an American subculture that has long believed it has been ignored by the government and society.
Homeless organizations claim that over the past 8 years, the Reagan administration has slashed housing budgets by almost 77%, and that attitude must change because they say low income and affordable housing in America is disappearing.
At nighttime, you are in good shape, but in the daytime, there's no place that really you have as far as a shelter.
But for the past 2 days, nearly 250 people representing professionals, the homeless, and the government have huddled together here in Atlanta to set a national agenda for an incoming administration.
We're all going to go away from here with a national movement agenda that we can push from federal legislation to the local modeling of projects.
Some say for the first time in their memory, homeless people are setting their own goals for a new administration, and they want more money and more housing.
Where they're going has been made clear by where they've come from, and we intend to force them to do what common decency and common sense and justice dictates, which is to once again put the federal government in the business of creating affordable housing.
In terms of money, homeless advocates are hoping the Bush administration will return almost $25 billion to housing programs they claim has been parceled out to other government projects in the last 10 years. Russ Jameson, Channel 5, Eyewitness News.
Now, homeless advocates say conditions for street people in America worsened during the Reagan years, in part because housing efforts declined while the numbers of homeless people increased.
In Forest Park tonight, police are waiting for test results to determine why 3 quadruplets died in their crib. Tests have already shown that all 4 babies were suffering from a dangerous and contagious form of meningitis. The surviving child is in stable condition tonight at Clayton General Hospital. Police questioned the mother of the children for several hours, and they are still treating the deaths as suspicious. The The children's surviving family and police in this case have all been warned to watch out for evidence that they may have caught the disease.
As Eyewitness News continues, George Bush is back in Washington tonight as he prepares for his inauguration. And a new theory tonight says U.S. servicemen may have unwittingly carried aboard the bomb that destroyed Pan Am Flight 103.
And an anti-Soviet march ends in violence as Prague citizens remember the 1968 invasion. All that and much more coming up next.
Yep, drove this truck clean across the county without towing no mountains or flying over no missing bridges. And I'm not just hunting off the edge of the highway. Listen, for under $12.5, you can get a good-looking, dependable GMC truck like this S15 Jimmy. After all, you want to be shooting turkeys, not driving one.
Save on new GMC trucks. See Walker, Carrollton, Hennessy, Forest Park, McGivney, Conyers, Barranco, Decatur, or General GMC Atlanta.
Some like it hot, but you can't tell how hot till you try. Some like it hot, so it's time that
this winter, Eastern announces hot prices to hot places. 4-day, 3-night Caribbean vacations for as little as $274.
Some like it hot.
There's excitement here at the World Council of Car Makers about Pontiac's Grand Prix.
Your customer get excited about Grand Prix, low price?
They sure are.
We excited too. Legend cannot compete.
As Motor Trend's 88 Car of the Year, our Grand Prix beats Legend again in 89 by $8,000.
I can't believe it's less than our new T-Bird.
Pontiac's Grand Prix starts as low as $13,899.
But that's only half price of BMW.
Compare Grand Prix with up to $1,000 back at Mark Singleton, Richard Wynn, Hardy, Buccaneer, Moore, or McGivney Pontiac.
We've got the hot John Goodman from the hit series Roseanne and jazz master Branford Marcellus on the next Arsenio Hall Show.
Monday at midnight on Channel 5.
Tonight, hundreds of Georgia students are in Washington, D.C. as preparations begin in earnest for next Friday's presidential inauguration. Inauguration week began today with dress rehearsals on every aspect of the public event, from the swearing in to the parade that will move down Pennsylvania Avenue. Military personnel acted as stand-ins for the many dignitaries, floats, and marching bands during the run-throughs that began before dawn. They practiced like this for the last inauguration, too, but bitterly cold weather made all those preparations quite unnecessary.
I, Ronald Reagan, do solemnly swear.
Because of the weather, things changed. The band couldn't play, the horns were frozen. The recording engineer for the Marine Band has a tape of all the music in a bunker below us. So if the horns can't play, they can play the tape.
Friday's inauguration is expected to be the biggest and most expensive inauguration ever. And there to see it all, from the oath of office to the parade to the inaugural balls, are 300 high school students from all across the state of Georgia.
Obviously, any students that are taking American government course right now will benefit greatly by a week of hands-on experience as to how the government really works, as opposed to try to learn out of a book or see it in a film or something like that.
The Georgia students are among some 140,000 guests who will watch firsthand as Vice President George Bush takes office as the 41st President of the United States. Well, the future First Lady has been getting a lot of complimentary letters lately. Barbara Bush says she now views herself as a role model for American women. And she says, quote, "My mail tells me that a lot of fat, white-haired, wrinkled ladies are tickled pink." Women across the country, it seems, are telling her they identify with her and they even look like Barbara Bush. That's in sharp contrast to Nancy Reagan, known for her slim figure and her designer wardrobe. Bush says she hopes her lifestyle will make women feel better about themselves just the way they are.
Reports tonight that the bomb that destroyed Pan Am Flight 103 may have been carried on board by an unwitting U.S. serviceman. Investigators have determined that a plastic explosive device destroyed the jet last month over Scotland. Today, a British newspaper, the Sunday Express, says investigators are looking into the possibility that some U.S. servicemen were being paid to smuggle diamonds into New York City. Now, the paper says the smuggling story may have been a setup by terrorists to entice the servicemen into taking the bomb-laden case on board, thinking it was full of diamonds. Riot police in Prague, Czechoslovakia today used tear gas, clubs, dogs, and water cannons to break up an anti-Soviet riot. Thousands of students marched through the streets of Prague today to commemorate the suicide of a student 20 years ago today. That man doused himself with gasoline and set himself on fire in protest of the 1968 Soviet invasion. Czech troops today arrested scores of people as they violently forced the demonstrators off the streets. One witness said the scene said it looked like police were equipped for war.
And turning now to sports, it has been a rough weekend for Georgia Tech. What's going on?
I'm not sure if any team won. I'm sure their high school teams have won, but the colleges had some trouble. We'll show you the latest in a bad weekend coming up.
7.9% financing on new Chevrolet cars and trucks, on new Hondas, even on new Acuras. Only one automotive group is big enough to make this offer. That'd be Nally, Georgia's largest dealer through Monday night. 7.9% financing at Nally Chevrolet and Nally Honda on Stewart Avenue at I-85. 7.9% financing at Nally Chevrolet and Nally Acura in Marietta. See our ads in Friday's and Sunday's Journal-Constitution, and you'll see why. For the lowest financing on new cars and trucks, that'd be Nally.
Make your football party a super success with Big Star Party Platters and Super Red Dot specials. Like Wise Ridgies and Cheese Doodles, just 99 cents for the 6.5-ounce bag. Or refreshing Coca-Cola soft drinks, only $1.19 for the 2-liter bottle. Ocean Spray Grapefruit Juice and Pink Grapefruit Juice Cocktail, now $1.99 for the 64-ounce bottle. And our boneless Ultra Trim Bottom Round Roast is now $1.69 a pound. Party Platters and Red Dot specials, a winning combination this week at Big Star.
The cannonball, the whip, the hurricane. Some call Aerolacine a test track. To us, it's an amusement park. And when a car can handle the rides here, we give it a special name. We call it a Volkswagen. For a limited time, Volkswagen is offering 4.9% APR financing on all Golfs, Jettas, and GTIs. See your dealer for details.
Class, what do we say when a customer asks about Kroger quarter-inch trim? Max?
Alex, I say we have 10 to 30% less fat on our beef than a lot of stores.
Right, but what does that mean? Max?
Better value. Instead of paying for fat, you're paying for beef.
Right. Now, class, what's the last thing we say to our customers? Max. Thank you, Max.
Oh, you're welcome, Alex.
Taste the difference. Go Krogering. U.S. Choice grain-fed whole boneless round sirloin tip, 12 to 14-pound average, $1.59 a pound.
Bill, it seems like every college game is going down to the last second.
Yeah, it does. This was a case of Georgia Tech losing because they didn't make a last-second shot. Louisville over the Jackets 67-65 at the Thriller Dome. Cardinals go to 12-2. Jackets fall back to 10-4. Take a look at the highlights. Bobby Crimmins, always animated. He's fun to watch. Here comes Brian Oliver to Tommy Hammonds. He gets the bucket and the foul, and Tech went up 52-50 there. Then Dennis Scott started heating up from three-point range. Tech goes up by 2. It's very late in the game. But Louisville's Kenny Payne answers, top of the key. The 3, it goes, and it's a 66-64 Louisville lead. Brian Oliver's last-second prayer would not go. Cards get the win. Denny Crum leaves a winner. Jackets lose their second in a row.
At the end of the season, can you be right there?
I hope so. I don't know. We still got a lot of figuring out to do, but we still have a respectable record, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Big ACC upset Virginia. Bombs 8th-ranked North Carolina 106-83. That's an incredible score. Cavaliers had lost 5 straight until they got this one. The big man, Richard Morgan. Again, we're looking at 3-point range, top of the key. 39 points for Morgan. UNC inbound to the ball, but watch Morgan steal, come back, and there it goes again for a 3. Carolina's great guard, Jeff Lebo, severely sprained his ankles. He'll be looked at in a hospital. We'll know more tomorrow. Oklahoma's a loser as Pittsburgh gets the upset 99-91. Brian Short, the hero in this game. He scored 39. Great pass. Short has got the bucket. Now, watch 235-pound Rod Brookins get the steal and go coast to coast. Big man jam. Pittsburgh 99-91 over the Sooners. Florida State beat the Southeastern Conference leader Tennessee 101-90, and TCU leads the Southwest after beating Rice 70-64. NBA, the Hawks are off. They'll play the Bullets in Washington tomorrow night. Let me show you something. In the Central Division, Cleveland, of course, is on top, but way down there, Atlanta's in 4th place, but almost in 5th. The Bulls, after winning today, are only a half game back. 76ers were winners. They beat the Hornets in Charlotte It was a Philadelphia win, 116 to 109 over the nattily dressed Hornets. Charles Barkley, 24 points. That was a three-point shot there. Barkley leveled Earl Currington right here. Now, why does this man want to fight this man? Would you? No. Philadelphia's a winner over Charlotte. Other scores, the Bulls beat the Celtics 110-104. Milwaukee beat Detroit. It's the Lakers over the Clippers. Miami in double overtime, 118-117 over Indiana. And Dallas 111-108 winners over Portland. The hot golfer, 2 weeks into the year, Steve Jones, 2 tournaments, 2 victories, $315,000, and it's only January 15th. Here he is on the 17th hole as he chips in for a bird to go 17 under par. Paul Azinger, Jones, and Sandy Lyle all at 17. And when Azinger missed the putt, they went to the playoff. First playoff hole, Jones sinks the birdie putt, wins $180,000.
Not bad money.
Not a bad payday.
I bet you do.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Phil.
Well, coming up next, with all the changes, you need an expert to tell you what kind of weather we have here. Our expert, Carrie Coleman, comes up next.
And they brave the best and the worst of America to cover the dramatic days of the civil rights movement. When we come back, we will talk to the reporters who brought that struggle into our homes.
Someday, every international air express company will have it all. 24-hour customer service, advanced tracking systems, and their own fleet of planes flying to Europe, Canada, and Japan, just like Federal Express. But until then, the others will just have to pretend.
Nice lightning.
Worldwide service from Federal Express.
Monday only. One-day super Chevy sale at your Heart of Georgia Chevy dealers. Monday, January 16th, every Chevrolet car, truck, and van will be marked with special one-day pricing. Without question, your best opportunity to buy a new Chevrolet car, truck, or van this year. One-day discounts in effect for 12 hours only. This one-day super Chevy sale absolutely ends Monday. So bring your title or payment book. All factory cash incentives will apply during this one-day super Chevy sale. Hurry for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity at the Heart of Georgia Chevy dealer in your hometown.
Monday, noon till 9, time is money you could be saving during Haverty's 9-hour furniture sale. As Haverty's puts their entire inventory on sale with no payments till May. You'll save on tasteful classic dining rooms, high-quality bedrooms at very low prices, a variety of living rooms from traditional to contemporary, and you make no payments till May. Time is money, but your time to save is Monday only, 12 till 9. So hurry to Haverty's 9-hour furniture sale, where everything's on sale.
I was born in the slum, but the slum was not born in me.
Jesse Jackson's words, realized by the lives of men and women from Atlanta's housing projects. Stories of success, quiet victory, giving back to their community.
It's nothing easy. It comes hard.
Listen to their personal stories of success against the odds. Monday at 5 on Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
How does the new week look?
I think it's going to be a very nice week, all in all. But you realize a big event in weather history was occurring back in 1952 on this date.
You're going to tell us about it, right?
Yes, yes, I am. It really is kind of amazing. They were in the midst of a 6-day snowstorm in the west, and this snowstorm dumped, I don't know if you can believe these figures or not, but 52 inches of snow at Sun Valley, Idaho, and it dumped 149 inches of snow at Tahoe, California. I think that that is a rather remarkable event. Well, nothing like that right now across the United States. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We just report this stuff. Well, satellite pictures will show you that we are in a west to east flow, and that generally is going to mean some mild weather for the next few days, and you'll see that here in just a few minutes in the forecast. There is a little bit of a storm system in the northwest, but I don't think it's going to be dumping 149 inches of snow anywhere. Let's hope not. I don't think that'd be very good skiing conditions. Avalanche conditions is what that would be. Well, the latest satellite picture will show you that there are some clouds here across the south. Some of this is high, some of this is low-level cloudiness, and I think that with the clear skies that we have had in the last few hours and the dropping temperature, that we could see some fairly dense fog here across Atlanta and throughout much of the south here in the next few hours. All we need to do is drop about 4 degrees from this 43 to really get into some pea soup fog. We have light winds here out of the west, and temperature's really not all that bad here tonight. Well, let's show you what else is going on besides 43. We have, well, in fact, 39 degrees. That's what they say right now. I thought it was 43. But anyway, mostly cloudy skies, 86% is the relative humidity. Winds out of the northwest at 7. The high temperature today, 59, 37 that low. Those average 7 above what's normal for this time of year. And just after midnight, we picked up 0.02 of an inch of rain, 72, and 9 degrees above the temperature extremes on this date. Our forecast weather map for tomorrow, a little storm system to the north of us, but that's not really going to be bringing any changes. High pressure in control, and that's going to mean some nice weather for the next few days. Our temperature profile, as far as the highs are concerned around the United States, we'll see 40s and 50s here across most of the south, a cold patch of 20s there in the west, and we'll see some teens and 20s in the upper Midwest. Here's your forecast. Tonight, patches of dense fog, 39 for a low temperature, westerly winds at 5. And then tomorrow, after that fog burns off, the low clouds begin to break up. We'll see some sunshine. We'll be breezy and a little cooler, not much, just a little cooler than today. 56 for high temperature. And the extended forecast, nice mild weather right on through Thursday. So with this west to east flow in the atmosphere, we're going to feel a little bit above normal in terms of temperatures as we progress on through the middle part of the week and toward the end of the week. So I think all in all, you are going to like the weather right on through Thursday anyway. So I think the forecast gives you room for optimism.
29 degrees?
You guarantee that?
It's very cold.
Oh, come on. That's not too much.
Thanks for the history lesson. Thanks for the history lesson.
I hope you enjoyed that.
Appreciate it.
We did.
Well, they were war correspondents right here in America.
And when we come back, we will talk to some of the reporters who covered the civil rights movement and Martin Luther King Jr.
I think he had more dimensions than I've seen in any other leader.
Whatever your problem, just give me a coil.
For 20 years, he's gotten Georgians out of trouble. He takes the trouble to get things fixed. And when you need help, he'll be there.
But he did.
Channel 5 troubleshooter Paul Reynolds. Dedicated, determined, dependable. Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
If you've been tied down to your old furniture for too long, come to Rhodes In-Store Warehouse Sale and get huge savings on an enormous selection of furniture. Whatever you do, don't get tied up doing anything else. Cut loose and come to Rhodes In-Store Warehouse Sale now and save. You're sure to find something worth getting attached to.
The new 130 horsepower multi-port fuel-injected Chevy Cavalier Z24. Everyone should feel this powerful at least once in their lives.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevrolet.
When you think of all the fun it gives you, the new Chevy Cavalier just could be one of the best bargains you've ever driven.
Ooh, the heartbeat of America, Chevrolet. That's today's Chevrolet.
In memory of what would have been Martin Luther King Jr.'s 60th birthday, the Atlanta Press Club brought a dozen journalists to town, journalists from across the country who covered the civil rights movement from the very beginning. These were the people who documented the civil rights movement. Reporters like Ethel Payne from the Chicago Daily Defender, dispatched to Montgomery, Alabama, when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus.
That meant that I was in on the ground floor. This is something that I had never witnessed before, and the determination of the people of Montgomery.
These were the reporters who chronicled those who fought and died for equality, the reporters who knew the man who made the dream come alive.
Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest for rights.
He was about 3 steps ahead of anything anybody had thought of, and that's when I knew this man is more than a great speaker, more than a great leader. He's a thinking man who can analyze things on the spur of the moment and get them right.
The reporters I talked to agreed that covering the civil rights movement constituted the most challenging and significant work they had ever done. And one reporter said more was achieved with less violence than in any other revolution, but there was violence.
When I say we're scared, because there was just a lot of violence accompanying it, not only against blacks, but against white reporters from northern newspapers.
Let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring and
Many called it the best and biggest story ever. Reporters played an important role. They made an impact. Ethel Payne called it the moment in time when America's conscience would awaken. She and the others knew the world and each reporter would never again be the same.
To me, it was something that had never happened before, and probably one of the finest moments in American history.
The next day, Martin Luther King Jr. was killed. Two days later, we marched for the last time through the streets of Memphis.
Incredible story, and it continues.
We'll always remember that.
That's all for this edition of Eyewitness News for Sunday, the 15th of January. For the news team, I'm Ken Watts.
And I'm Cynthia Good. Sports Unlimited is coming up next. And we leave you tonight with the Morban Tabernacle Choir singing in honor of the King holiday.
Good night.
Good night.
In the bosom of Abraham, rock of my soul. In the bosom of Abraham, rock of my soul. In the bosom of Abraham, oh, rock my soul.
My soul is glad, my soul is free. I'm going home, I'm going home.
Rock of my soul in the bosom of Abraham, rock of my soul in the bosom of Abraham.
Monday only. One day super Chevy sale at your Heart of Georgia